Hi, Charlie Camp, Stan James. Want to preview this weekend's sporting action. Begin with the FA Cup 4th round. Chelsea, the holders, the 11-4 favourites for ourselves at Stan James. They're at Preston, 7-2 on Chelsea. I can't see this being a shock, I'm afraid. Lily White's a 10-1 shot with the draw at 4s. Arsenal are next in at 9-2. They are at Stoke 4-1 shot. The Gunners are 8-11, and it's 5-2 the draw. The two of them together paired the big four that was, of course, down to the big two with the defeat of Liverpool and Manchester United in the 3rd round. They are 6-4 now, so it's flip-flopped. It's favourites now for somebody other than one of the big four to win the FA Cup. 6-4 you can get for Arsenal and Chelsea combined, and it's 2-1 on the field, including, of course, our anti-post selections. We went for Fulham at 33-1, Everton at 25-1, more of them in a bit. Arsenal, as I say, at Stoke, I think they'll both get through, Chelsea and Arsenal, but Chelsea really are, I think, the big threat to everybody. Can't really have Arsenal in 2010 for the FA Cup. Man City, if there is going to be a shock, I think this may well be it at Scunthorpe. Scunthorpe is 7-1. Again, this is, I think, slightly overpriced. I wasn't particularly convinced. I thought Manchester City were very, very poor at Goodison last week. Of course, the wonderful crowd behind them at the St Manchester Stadium in their semi-final, but I think this again is maybe a true barometer, and they may have one eye on that Carling Cup semi-final second leg as well. And I think City are indeed maybe vulnerable. Scunthorpe, I think, again, have impressed many people this season in the Championship, and Scunthorpe, I think, maybe slightly overpriced at 7-1. Spurs 11-2, big week for them, and indeed the team they play in the 4th round rather, Leeds United. Leeds United, of course, beaten midweek, and Spurs, another poor performance from Spurs. They had 6 clean sheets in a row coming up to Anfield. Well, it lasted 6 minutes at Anfield, and really, I thought Redknapp took it on the chin well and came out and basically said they still have to harden up. A massive game for Liverpool, and congratulations to them, and in effect they sort of out-battled. This is a big game for Spurs. I think they'll probably come through it, but to me, if you're a Spurs supporter, it's no good scoring 9 against Wigan and then 4 against Peterborough if you can't get 1 against Hull or Liverpool. Although, it's a big argument, of course, whether Defoe, I think, is getting a reputation of flat track bully, whether Defoe's goal should have stood at Anfield. Villa, I think they're 5-1 on at home to Brighton. I think they'll get through. Congratulations to Villa. What a game of football that was, although I didn't see it myself. I was watching the Liverpool game. Everton, it's, I think, the biggest game of the day, and it's unfortunate that for many people they won't see it until the highlights on ITV later in the day. This is the game of the day, in my opinion. It's Everton versus Birmingham City. Birmingham City have been in Malta this mid-season break. They've had their unbeaten 14 run. It's, I think, the 17th of October since they were last beaten. That was 3-0 at the Gunners against Everton, this rejuvenated Everton side. Let's get it right, this is a decent Everton side, but it was a decent Everton side who absolutely battered Birmingham for 25 minutes in the Premier League, but Everton scored only 1 goal, and then Lee Bowyer scored, and then from then on it was probably a draw was a fair result, and it's 4-5 Everton, Blues 7-2, and the draw 5-2. It wouldn't surprise me again if this goes back to St Andrews. That will be on Tuesday, February the 2nd, by the way. That's already been organised. I think this really is I think both sides, both Blues, will think this may be the year for Wembley. Fascinating. The Birmingham haven't really spent the money that many people said. Only Michel come in, and they've been courting Michel Alec McLeish for a long time. Probably will get a striker before now and the 31st of January. Everton, my heart says there, but it wouldn't surprise me. 5-2 the draw on that occasion. Sort of other, I think, quite fascinating games as well. Reading against Burnley. Burnley 13-8, Reading 13-8 in the draw 23-10. Burnley, of course, beaten 3-0 at Old Trafford. Let's get right. We all saw that flattered Manchester United, and Burnley played very well in the first game under Brian Laws. Both of these teams maybe have soft centres. I think Burnley will not lose this game, maybe the 23-10. 13-8 though, I think that makes plenty of appeal for Burnley. I think this is quite a resolute and I think quite a skillful Burnley side. It wouldn't surprise me if they could hit them with David Nugent, of course, Mr. Chances at Old Trafford, but at least he got him, and he's got that pace, he seems to have confidence, and I think that 13-10, that would be one of my bets of the weekend. I'm putting up Scunthorpe at 7-1, but I do think Burnley may be at 13-8. Just a quick word about the tennis, how far we got. Federer, very impressive today, 5-2, although he was love 40 on his serve. In the first set rather, at 4-2, and 2 big first serves gone out of it, and a mistake by Hanescu. Rafa 7-2, Murray 5-1, Murray 50-1 on in his third round game. Djokovic 6s, can't have Djokovic, although of course he's a former Australian champion. Del Potro 7-1. Remember, he had 5 sets it took to beat James Blake last time, and Davydenko's played 2 games in the first and second rounds in men's tennis to lose 12 games in 6 sets. That shows how well Davydenko's playing. He's arguably the informed player. What's he doing at 8-1? He was my pre-tournament selection at 9s. He and Murray, the two I've sort of had nibbles at myself. Murray, so far so good as well. I think Federer maybe is a bit too short. I think it's the Serena versus the Belgians. Serena 11-4 against Kim Clijsters 3-1, and Justine Henin. Justine Henin very unimpressed with her first serve. I think she'll get better though. Of course, it was a big win against the Russian last time, but I think they meet in the quarterfinal with 2 Belgians, and I think whoever wins that game will go on to meet Serena rather than in the final. But I think Serena 11-4. I think it will be Serena Williams' title. Just a quick one as well. The Hewitt-Bagdatis game. Both of them have been beaten finalists in the Australian Open at Melbourne. I think it'll be a fascinating game. Hewitt for me 20-21 to Stan James. So this weekend, FA Cup 4th round, Burnley at Reading, and what about more speculatively perhaps Scunthorpe to beat Manchester City at 7-1. Be lucky.